Hi everyone, my name is Sean Marcia, and I'm the founder of Ruby for Good. I'm working with the GitHub Social Impact Tech for Social Good team on a few initiatives related to digital public goods from the Digital Public Goods Alliance, of which GitHub is a member. This video is primarily for organizations that are new to GitHub or new to managing a community on GitHub, but we hope that regardless of your skill level, you'll find some useful information in it. Today, I'm going to walk you, a DPG maintainer, through setting up your GitHub repository to get it ready for contributors. As part of the walkthrough, I'm going to be using Human Essentials, which is a project on GitHub that Ruby for Good built and that is serving the social sector. It is a recognized digital public good. Like all digital public goods, Human Essentials is open source. It's on GitHub, so you can refer to this repository at any time. You can find this specific repository at github.com/rubyforgood/human-essentials. For reference, the project is a database-backed web application, so you'll need to tailor your repository to your specific application. Okay, let's get started. A note to the audience. You can skip this part if you've already completed everything in the Community Standards checklist, but it may be valuable to see how another organization has completed their checklist. We're here on the Human Essentials GitHub page, and the first thing we want to do is to go to the Insights tab, which is where you can find all the summary details about your project's community in one place. This can help answer questions like, how many active open issues and pull requests do I have? Or how many recent pull requests and issues have been made? We can see here that Human Essentials has had 11 pull requests merge in the past week. There are 4 more that have been opened, and there have been 2 issues closed and 5 new issues created. This is important for potential volunteers to see because it gives an overview of what is happening and the activity of the repository. We can see that there are many tabs of useful information, like the Contributors tab, which shows who has contributed to your project, the Traffic tab, which lets you know how many people are cloning the repository, and the Network tab, where you can see who has forked your project and who is working on it. Personally, I love periodically looking through the forks on the Network tab and seeing how people have customized the software to solve their own problems. Because when I see that they have added something that I think is useful for other people, I'll often either suggest they submit a pull request to add it to the main repository, or I'll do it myself if they can't. This really is the amazing power of open source and how we are able to benefit from each other's work. All these tabs in the Insights section have great information, and I recommend reading through each one. I'd like to now focus on the Community Standards tab. GitHub has conveniently made a checklist of the different items that contributors look for and should be present in a healthy project. A repository description and a README are what they sound like. They talk about your project, who you are serving. In this project's case, the description tells us that Human Essentials is helping diaper and period supply banks. The next item, the Code of Conduct, is equally critical. A Code of Conduct is important to create a safe space and welcoming environment for your project. If you are stuck deciding which one to use, I recommend the Contributor Code of Conduct. You will need to set up a contributing file and select an open source license, which I'll talk more about soon. Many volunteers will not contribute without a license, and some may even be prohibited from contributing by their employers to projects that do not have an open source license. Finally, to remove ambiguity from contributors, it is helpful if you create issue and pull request templates. These templates create standards for how your project accepts feature requests, bug reports, and so on, as well as how you want your contributors to submit their pull requests. Let's take a look at how this project has set up its issues. In this repo, we see that there are 4 different issue templates: a bug report, a documentation change, a feature request, or a new issue from the core team. Depending on your project, different issue templates may make sense. Let's look at one of these. We see that when we click the bug report, it takes us to a page with fields that are ready to fill in. We see that in the title, it has bug pre-filled in to make triaging easier. It asks us to confirm that no one else has submitted this bug, and then it asks us to submit what is happening, what we are expecting to happen, how to reproduce the bug, details about our computer setup, what steps we should do to resolve the bug, and that we agree to abide by the Code of Conduct while interacting with this open source community. These fields are all set by an issue template. Pull request templates are similar in that they will pre-populate the pull request with text that contributors can edit with details about their pull request. Let's jump into the .github directory and look at these templates. We see here in the pull request template that there is a checklist showing that the contributor has gone through the steps the project expects. The template auto-populates the pull request with a resolve message that the contributor can link to auto-close an issue, a description section that they can fill out with a summary and description of the change and how they tested the change. Finally, they can add in screenshots. Let's now jump back to the contributing file. A contributing file should contain all the technical processes to contribute to the repository, including if there is any special software or tooling that is needed to be able to contribute. This is where you should be letting potential contributors know, for example, if they need to have Docker installed, or your application only runs on Windows, or any other technical information that may block someone from contributing. We don't see any technical requirements to contribute here in this contributing file, but we do see the steps. You look at the issues, you find an open one, you ask it to be assigned to yourself, and then you create a pull request ensuring the tests pass and the code linters don't find any issues, and you submit your pull request. Straightforward. A note to the audience. This is when maintainers who have everything in the community standards checklist completed should start watching. Once you have these templates, contributing files, and other required files, it is time to create issues for people to work on. This is important, and something you won't hear in other GitHub training videos. For social sector applications, issues are more than just telling people to add code or fix a problem. You have a unique opportunity to connect contributors to the social sector mission of your application. Developers who submit code to social sector projects are doing it because they believe in the mission, and they want to contribute to helping their communities and the world. Let's look at some human essentials issues. We see here that there is an issue to change the from address in an email field. Let's look at this one. Instead of the issue just saying to change that emails are sent from info@humanessentials.app to noreply@humanessentials.app, the team has taken the opportunity to explain that nonprofits are replying to emails, but the diaper and period supply banks are not receiving them. They therefore don't know that the people they are helping are having problems. This is a small example, but this issue tells whoever contributes to it how they are making the people's lives who use this software better. Let's also look at how this issue was constructed. It has a clear summary of what the problem is, as well as how it will help the people using the application. It has a section on what the contributor will want to consider when working on the issue. Typically, these are things that will help contextualize the code for anyone who is unfamiliar. Finally, it has completion criteria that clearly spell out what the contributor needs to do to solve this problem. We can see that this issue is labeled Good First Issue and had the label Help Wanted when they were looking for a contributor for it. Labels are extremely important for a project, especially the Help Wanted label. When we look at a list of projects, we can see in the summary that there are 29 issues in this project and that 10 of them need help. GitHub generates this summary for contributors based on the Help Wanted tag. When a project appears on a list, it lets people quickly see which issues need help. If you're not using this label, people may think that there are no issues needing help and skip over your project entirely. We can see that clicking on the label automatically filters us to the 10 issues that are needing help. I won't demo it here, but by using GitHub Actions, you can automate much of the managing of issues and labels in your repositories. If we jump over to the GitHub Actions Marketplace and do a general search for issues, we can see that there are many actions such as closing stale issues, translating issues, and many more. If you have never used GitHub Actions before, there are some excellent tutorials to get you started on the GitHub Skills page. The last bit of repository guidance I want to add is about GitHub Sponsors, which allows people to financially sponsor your project. We can see on the GitHub Sponsors page that it walks you through all the steps of setting up sponsors on your project. Before signing up, please make sure that your project and organization allows you to participate and that your country is covered. Sponsors is currently available in 68 regions, including many low and middle income countries. That is all we have for repository guidance. But I also want to leave you with a new tool. We have created a README generator for DPGs on the registry. It generates Markdown and HTML that allows you to show off that you've been recognized as a certified digital public good by the Digital Public Goods Alliance. It also provides your contributors with information about your project. To use the tool, select the digital public good, pick the repository associated with it, and then generate the code. You can copy everything or modify and keep the parts of the code you want for your README file. Let's go to the Human Essentials README and take a look at what the generated code looks like. We can see that the code has added a badge showing that this is an approved digital public good, as well as which of the Sustainable Development Goals the project is supporting. Contributors can click on these to read more about the SDGs. We can also see various statistics of the project, like how many contributors, number of coding languages the project uses, and other numbers that give a sense of the activity and health of the project. This generator also adds links to 2 files it expects your project to have. You can add these files or remove the links in the README code. The first file it expects is named ngo.md and gives information for organizations that may want to use your project. The second file it expects is sbv.md. This file is for teams that want to participate in skills-based volunteering. This is intended for large, epic-sized issues. At the time of this recording, it is currently Hacktoberfest. So let's briefly talk about how to navigate Hacktoberfest. This is a busy month for maintainers and a fantastic time to get contributions to your project. We recommend adding some Hacktoberfest-specific guidance to your project's README file for this month. In the Human Essentials README, we see that they are excited about Hacktoberfest and that they will do their best to respond to issues and pull requests in a couple of days, but because of the hectic nature of Hacktoberfest, to not reach out in their Slack community until it's been at least a week since their contribution has been made. Don't forget that Hacktoberfest is also for maintainers. You should register yourselves for the free DigitalOcean gifts. That's it for me. We'd love to hear your feedback and continue this conversation. Please reach out to us at socialimpact@github.com, and good luck on the amazing work that you are all doing. Thank you so much.